Good morning, day 16, the last day on the Enoree Trail. Pretty sure I'll get it done. My mom had to do a bit of scary driving to deliver me to this remote place in Sumter National Forest. She had to go under a freeway, which was a pretty tight squeeze, but she did it. We stayed last night at a KOA not far from here. Man, they're expensive. But boy, that was money well spent. The state park was over 30 miles away, and I absolutely had to have a shower, but they had Wi-Fi there, so I got up all my videos uploaded, and it was a really, and I did laundry there too, so it was a one-stop shop. So the extravagant price I got a lot accomplished, so that was good. But my rich people stay there. If you can afford to stay at a KOA, then you're kind of very rich. That huge semi pulling an RV, they're from South Dakota. Yeah, South Dakotans are rich. That's what I'm seeing, observing. I'm looking forward to getting this section done and seeing what else there is. I'm finding a lot of freshly fallen trees in this Sumter area. So there must have been a storm just before we got here. Do you remember in my last hike that Samson's new wife begged him to tell her the answer to his riddle? And finally, after 7 days, he did. Then she told it to her fellow Philistines, and Samson got angry and stormed back to his parents' house. Well, Samson's father-in-law gave his wife to his companion after he had left. But after a while, in the time of the wheat harvest, Samson came back to visit his wife with a young goat. He said, "Let me go into my wife, into her room." But her father would not permit him. He said, "I thought you really hated her, so I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister far better than her? I will give her to you instead." Of course, Samson had a fit. So he went and caught 300 foxes and paired them up and put a torch between the two tails. And when he lit the torch, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines. Thus, they burned down the cornfields and the vineyards and the olive groves. Where on earth did he collect 300 foxes from? And who thinks up these kind of strategies? The Philistines said, "Who has done this?" And they were told Samson, because his wife was given away. So the Philistines went to her and her father and burned them up. Yikes! Brutal Philistine justice. Samson said to them, "Since you would do a thing like this, I will take revenge on you, and after that I will cease." So he attacked them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. Then he came down and dwelt in the cleft of the rock of Etam. Hip and thigh is an expression of how thoroughly Samson defeated the Philistines, similar to the English phrase "from head to toe." Boy, that sound is so pronounced. Now, this is a birch tree. Do you think that that is chaga? I'm wondering. The Philistines that were left came and camped in Lehi in the land of Judah. And the men of Judah asked them, "Why have you come up against us?" So they answered, "We have come up to arrest Samson, to do to him as he has done to us." Then 3,000 men of Judah went to where Samson was and said to him, "Don't you know that the Philistines rule over us? What is this that you have done to them?" Samson said, "As they did to me, so I have done to them." But they said to him, "We have come to arrest you so that we may deliver you into the hands of the Philistines." This is supposedly a horse trail. Do horses go down here, do you think? Of course somebody left their trash. Oh. Danger, bridge is out of service. What does that mean? Oh, am I gonna have to go wading? Oh boy. Oh boy. Now what? I mean, really? That's not even a bad stream. I'm going, I don't care. Just because it's not put together doesn't mean it's not usable. That's not even a scary stream. Oh well. Might not be usable for horses, but it's usable for humans, because I did it. Phew. Well, anyway, the men of Judah reproached Samson for rebelling against the Philistine rule and for exposing them to danger by hiding within their borders. This reproach and their readiness to give him over to the Philistines bear evidence of the low ebb that Judah had reached. Once so powerful in war, they now lay powerless in moral decay. The loss of their religion was accompanied by the loss of their patriotism. These cowardly people of Judah not only failed to assist Samson, they turned him over to the enemy. And then Samson said to them, "Swear to me that you will not kill me yourselves." Samson was unafraid of the Philistines. He believed God would help him against them when the time came. He was, however, distrustful of his own kinsmen and made them take an oath that they would not harm him, lest he be obliged to destroy them also. Boy, it's pretty thick going in here. Now it's starting to rain. Well, thankfully that didn't last too long. The men of Judah said to him, "No, but we will tie you, and we will deliver you into their hand, but we will surely not kill you." So they bound him with 2 new ropes and brought him up from the rock. When Samson came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting against him. But then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily, and the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that was burned with fire. See? There is evidence right there of what is making that noise, I'm sure. A cicada found me. He found a jawbone of a donkey, and he used it to kill 1,000 men. And then he said, "With the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I have slain 1,000 men." He likes riddles, I guess, and apparently this short poem is a play on words in the Hebrew, but is untranslatable into English. After that fighting, he became very thirsty and cried out to God, "You have given great deliverance through your servant, and now shall I die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised?" So God split a hollow in Lehi, and water came out, and he drank, and his spirit returned, and he revived. Now look at this. Very interesting. Cicada carcasses. By these circumstances, God was trying to teach Samson that apart from divine aid, he could not deliver Israel. This great victory was due to God's help. Samson would not even be able to get off the battlefield in his own strength and would perish unless God came to his aid. When he was in great difficulty, Samson resorted to prayer. And sadly, it seems like he only prayed when he was in great danger. What a tragedy his prayer life was so deficient. He might have been a mighty spiritual leader had he been more spiritually minded. It is a good thing to call upon God in a time of trouble, but it is a pity that so many ignore him the rest of their days. Then the Bible says Samson judged Israel 20 years in the days of Israel. And we will continue his story in our next hike. So I would challenge you, don't just call on God when you are in distress. Talk to him all the time, and he will be with you in troubles and in joys. Ah, and there's the camper. That means I am officially done the Anna-Reese Passage. Hooray for me. Oh, there's some nice wildflowers right here where we're parked. Well, that was a lovely lunch break. Oh, I am so blessed. So blessed. I have the best mom in the whole world. But now it's a road walk to Newberry. But the good news is we finally found out what that sound is, and my suspicions were correct. It is cicadas. But the neat thing is that this happens once every 100 years. The 13-year cicadas and the 17-year cicadas come out at the same time for 2 weeks. And here we are, Mom and I get to be here during this momentous event. But my, it sure makes the videos loud, doesn't it? Just crazy loud. So it's starting to rain pretty good, so I'm gonna call it a day. I've done 9 miles. I could have gone further, but I don't want to walk in the rain.